Good afternoon. This is Mrs. Steyer. As I promised, I'm going to be recording a few videos that I doubt we'll have time to see during our synchronous lessons. So this is going to be a two-part, but 5 videos, short videos. They're only a few minutes each in one, and then there'll be 6 more in the next one. So this is going to be a summary of chapter 1. The first section is, what is physics? Here it is.
Physics is the study of the physical world. There are many branches of physics. Mechanics is the study of motion and its causes. Thermodynamics is the study of heat and temperature. Wave mechanics is the study of particular types of repetitive motions, such as the behavior of sound waves and other vibrations. Optics is the study of light rays undergoing processes such as reflection and refraction. Electromagnetism is the study of electricity, magnetism, and light. Relativity is the study of particle motion. It describes the space and time relationships necessary to make the laws of physics universally applicable. Quantum mechanics is the study of the structure and behavior of the atom and of subatomic particles from the view that all energy comes in tiny, indivisible bundles. Physics covers everything from how the planets move to how we heat our houses or get from one place to another. Without an understanding of physics, many technological advances would never have been made.
Number 2 is the scientific method. Here we go.
Most scientists follow these 7 basic steps of the scientific method. First, scientists make observations. For example, paleontologists observe fossilized dinosaur remains in order to learn about dinosaurs that once roamed the earth. These scientists' observations often lead to questions. Upon discovering a set of fossilized dinosaur bones, a paleontologist would likely ask, what kind of dinosaur do these bones come from? A scientist often investigates a question by forming a hypothesis. The paleontologist in this example hypothesized that the bones he observed come from a type of dinosaur that had not yet been discovered. Scientists test hypotheses by gathering data that can help determine whether the hypotheses are valid or not. A test to support the hypothesis that a new dinosaur has been discovered might involve measuring many different parts of the newly discovered bones. That these measurements can be compared with those of bones from known dinosaurs. Once scientists finish their tests, they must analyze the results. An analysis of the dinosaur bone measurements and the comparison might show that the new dinosaur bones are either too large or shaped too differently to have belonged to any of the comparison dinosaurs that have already been discovered. Or, the test might show that a dinosaur matching the new bones had already been discovered. Finally, scientists must conclude whether the results of their test supported the hypothesis. Let's suppose that the dinosaur bone measurement test led to the conclusion that a new dinosaur species has been discovered. Upon completing an investigation, scientists communicate their results. Scientists often present their findings in speeches, journal articles, and books.
Okay, that was a summary of the scientific method. But what about models? What are models? Let's go.
Models are used to represent things that are too small to see, such as atoms. Models can also represent objects in the solar system that are too large or far away to observe in certain ways. For example, this model can be used to show how the movements of the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun result in the different phases of the Moon. Scientists and engineers use computers to model systems and processes that are too expensive, complex, or dangerous to test in real life. For example, computer simulations use data related to ocean temperature and weather patterns to predict El Niño events and decide when to evacuate citizens prior to a hurricane making landfall. Models can also be used to represent ideas, concepts, or theories. For example, scientists noted that a rolling object, such as a push lawnmower, veers when it encounters at an angle a surface that slows it down. Light similarly veers when it passes from an easy-to-go-through medium, such as air, into a thicker medium, such as water. Scientists use the lawnmower model to help explain why light might exhibit such a behavior.
Okay, and the next one is controlled experiment. What is a controlled experiment?
A controlled experiment compares a control group with an experimental group. These three groups of frog eggs were exposed to different amounts of ultraviolet light in an experiment designed to test the effect of ultraviolet light on frogs. A variable is a factor in a controlled experiment that changes. In the frog experiment, the variable is the amount of ultraviolet light exposure. All of the other factors in the experiment will be the same for the control group and the experimental groups. This will allow scientists to be more certain that differences in the variable, which is the amount of ultraviolet light exposure, cause any differences observed in the outcome of the experiment.
Okay, and the last one that I'm going to show in this short video is about dimensions and units. Dimensions and units.
Imagine you are buying new carpet for a room. You need to tell the flooring company how much material you will need. The answer can be found by measuring the length and width of the room and then multiplying the two measurements to find the area. If the woman on the left measures her distance in centimeters and the woman on the right measures in meters, we have a problem. The units do not make sense because they do not represent the area the carpet must cover. If both women measure in meters, the answer is much more useful. Now you know how much carpet you will need.
So if you're going to multiply two numbers, you need to make sure that they are both of the same units. So I'm going to stop for here for now, and then I will start the next one for the next 6 videos. All right, see you then.